It is Thursday, July 7th, and I thought I would take you through a quick garden tour. This is my first garden tour of the year, and a lot has been happening. So my onions have taken off like crazy. These are Egyptian walking onions, and as you can see, the bulbils here are ready to be planted. So typically what happens with these is they fall over and then they walk. So as you can see, they're starting to fall over and walk. And just 2 days ago, I planted a bunch of those little bulbils all over. But this was the first thing that came up this year, and I absolutely love them. So this part is basically kind of designated for onions. I did plant some garlic that I got from a friend. I planted it this spring. The garlic that I planted in the fall did not come up. So here's some more. And then I had a couple seedlings of peppers, and I have different flowers and basil and lettuce and tomatoes. I literally just planted a bunch of things a few days ago. This is fleabane. It actually came up willingly in my garden, and I am going to figure out how I want to preserve this, if it's going to be a tincture or if it's going to be drying. I'm not quite sure yet, so I just have to do a little bit more research on that. And then I planted some baby kale. These were all seedlings that I did with winter sowing, and some of that kale and red lettuce also from winter sowing. These tomato plants are from winter sowing as well. I'll post a video on that. I'll have a link to that in the description of this video. The first year I did it, and then I have just redone it this year and had real good success. So I will post a video below, and then I'll do an update. So again, this is pretty full. So tomatoes, I have cabbage and turnip and broccoli and more parsley. All of these plants I have done from seed winter sowing, so I didn't have to harden them off. It was great. Beets. Some of these I put direct sow in because my cucumbers didn't make it. So these are seedlings that I planted probably a few weeks ago. Some peppers. These two I did buy some pepper plants. We needed some more peppers. The pepper plants that I planted, the seedlings didn't take, and we wanted to do more salsa this year. So just a lot of plants. Everything's looking plentiful. So again, you can see I planted some of those onions around here because I had so many bulbils, and I figured these ones I will just pick and won't allow them to actually walk. So this year I planted paste tomatoes. I have some alpaca and some Amish paste tomatoes. Those are the majority of them that I planted, but then my husband got two Roma plants for free, and he got some lemon tomato plants. I think they're smaller ones. So I just planted those a couple days ago. This is celery. This celery I overwintered from last year. So celery is a biennial, and I ended up overwintering this in my house and was able to then replant it. So this is one of the celery plants. Here's another celery plant. They've been doing really well since I did that. And then I have some other celery plants over there. This pepper plant was also overwintered. So this is a regular bell pepper plant. As you can see, some of these are the woody ends. I do have a little green leaf here. So this was overwintered in my house. I didn't have any grow lights. I just had it in my southern facing window. And so that was really exciting that I was able to overwinter that as well. And here's another pepper plant that I overwintered. It has been growing really well. Again, this is another bell pepper plant. You can see some of the leaves, the older leaves, if I can get that in there. are a little beat up, and you can see where I cut the stalk off, but I've got little babies on there, so this is great. So this, I'm excited that this is doing really, really well. All of my flowers that I plant are edible. So I planted some marigold seeds, and those are taking a little bit to come up, but they're coming up. So here, okay, so here's the celery plant as well. There's a little purslane in there. Here's the celery plant, and then here is another part of that celery plant. This is actually parsley that I grew from seed, and my nasturtiums, those are edible. I just planted some carrots in here. I tried some other things. The seeds were real old, so I just wanted to see if they would come up. They didn't. So I just planted carrot seeds in here yesterday or the day before. And then this whole row here was all beets, and I pulled them all out except for these two, and then I planted more beets. Now here's another plant that I overwintered. This is, you can probably tell, it is a Hungarian hot wax pepper plant, and this was overwintered. So I was able to, what I do is I take them out, and I'm in Wisconsin Zone 5A. I take them out and I end up putting them in a pot in my southern facing window and leave them go, and this made it as well. So I had two of my bell pepper plants survive, and I had the Hungarian hot wax pepper survive, and I had this jalapeno plant survive. So again, they got a little beat up, but they made it, so that's exciting. I did plant some jalapeno pepper plant seeds, and my husband did pick up 2 habaneros that we got from a local nursery for free, so that was nice. I have some leeks in here, and another part of that celery plant, so I kind of divvied it up. My red leaf lettuce is doing great. This is Sorrel, Rumex acetosa. It is a very lemony flavored plant. I just pluck the leaves. I just eat them as is, or you put them in salads. I've also juiced them or put them in like smoothies. They're wonderful. More tomato plants. This is my lamb's quarter. I did a video on lamb's quarter wild spinach. I just harvested a bunch of it. I'm going to probably pull this soon, but this is lamb's quarter, so it's a wild edible. And over there, before I pulled some purslane, I'll show you because I probably have more. This garden is full of it this year. And purslane's also wild edible that I made a video on, so I can link those below. And I'll link that above. This here is plantain. This is another wild edible, useful for so many things. I do not have a video on this, but I will probably do one because I've had some real good plantain harvests this year. I'm going to make plantain salve, but it is good for all sorts of skin issues. If you get a sting, you just chew on this leaf, put it in your mouth, kind of chew it up and put it on that sting, and it just takes that away. It's good for poison ivy as well, and some other things. So I'll probably do a video on that. I planted some dill seed this year, so that came up nicely. Some arugula, planted some seed that came up nicely. Here's a turnip. I have peas on this trellis, and some broccoli, all sorts of things in here. Let's see, I just planted some cilantro seeds, and this is another wild edible I've been letting grow. This one right here, not this. This one right here is the purslane. So this is a succulent, and it's a purslane, and it is edible. And I have a video on that. Again, I'll link that. But this one is a different one. It's called wood sorrel. And this is also edible, and it's very lemony, and I love it. You can use it in salads. I just come up here and eat it as is. So that is another wild edible. I do not have a video on that. I'll probably make one this summer because I love it. Okay, so here we have some jalapeno plant, a jalapeno plant, and then 2 bell peppers. These I purchased this year because I want to make a lot of salsa. I made a canning recipe called Zesty Salsa, and the Zesty Salsa I just tried it. It was my first batch of it. It is a safe, tested, and approved canning recipe. My neighbors absolutely love it. He keeps coming over and asking for more jars, and I don't have any more. So this year I've decided I am making more salsa. And so we planted plenty of pepper plants and a lot of paste tomato plants, because those are, you know, best for actual salsa because they're not as watery. So that is what the plan is. That's why I have so many different pepper plants. Some cabbage, basil. The basil I did buy because my basil seeds didn't come up, and I tried twice. I think they were just old. So I bought some organic basil from the store, and I actually divvied it up, and I planted it in some other containers and stuff, and I actually got multiple plants from it. So I'm pretty excited about that. This was one of those free tomato plants my husband got, and it was called a tomato yellow pear. I was told it's good for canning, but I think this might be, I'm not sure if it's like a little, like a grape-sized tomato, so I haven't looked it up, but I was happy to have gotten it. So we planted it, and I'll end up kind of bracing that against this trellis so that it can grow up. Here I planted some grain hybrid melons. They're like cantaloupes, like smaller cantaloupes. My husband really likes cantaloupes, so I planted, I started these from seed from a cantaloupe that I had last year, saved the seeds, winter sowed them, and got 4 plants. So I planted 2 here and then 1 on each side of this this area. Some broccoli, and again this is a Roma tomato and another one of the paste tomatoes. And here I planted carrots. So what I did with carrots this year, I ended up winter sowing carrots for my first time. I've never grown carrots from seed. I winter sowed carrots, and then I moved them into this area. And because they like sandy soil, I kind of had individually put these. It was very painstaking, but they're starting to grow, as you can see. I just, the other day, I ended up sprinkling some more carrot seeds on, just to kind of get them to get some other ones going. So we're gonna see what happens here. And then I put some sand on top as that light layer, and then watered them in. And I'll probably have to water today if it doesn't rain, just because those seeds are light and on the top. It's carrots. So again, another Roma, the one that we got for free. And then I just planted some of those onions there because I have so many. Okay, so here are 2 more of the jalapeno plants that I had gotten. Planted those, and we have I think this is pole beans over here. Yeah, pole beans over here, cucumbers over there, and then the peas are on the other trellis that looks just like this. Let's see, planted a couple onions in there. These are my beets, and what I did is I just mounded them with some, it might be hard to see, sorry. I mounded them with some additional soil, and hoping that they'll, instead of actually I've done this before where I've dug them and put them down further because I wanted them to get bigger, because they were pretty small. So this time I had some extra garden soil, so I just put that around the top of them. So these are looking really good. And again, all of these I started from, you know, aside from those few plants I told you about, all these I started from winter sowing. So some of these plants will all kind of clear out, and then I'll have more space to do some other things. But this is basically how it's looking. And I love it. I just come out here and I take a look, go around, I'm picking weeds and finding new places to put things that, you know, I had to move some things out, and then it created some space. And so this is kind of the latest. Again, it's July 7th. The other thing I did, which I guess I didn't tell you, is up here I have some flowering plants, zinnias, and I overwintered these as well. They're looking a little rough, but some of them do have flowers on it. And yeah, and if I pull them down for you, they have a bunch of babies in there getting ready to start growing. So yeah, that has been a fun little project as well. What I'll do in the future here is probably keep doing some of these updates because I think it's fun just to see what other people do and maybe learn some additional things. Some of these plants I've never planted before, so it'll be interesting to see. If you have any questions on anything that I have in the garden or how to grow something, feel free to comment below. Also, I will link in the description some of those videos on the wild edibles that I already have done, so that if you're interested in that, you can learn more about that. And then I will kind of keep doing updates on this, like I said, informally, just to kind of keep you updated of the garden and how things are going. All right, I will see you in the next video.